Hi friends, I'm Dee, about to react to this vid by Uncle Herman. It's titled The Beauty Guru Who Joined a Cult, the Michelle Phan story. This name is familiar. I feel like I've heard of her before. I think she's like a OG YouTuber who used to do like makeup tutorials. Pretty sure. So that's wild if she joined a cult. Let's see what's going on and how she got sucked into this. Let's watch.
Has been on YouTube since it first began in 2006.
Wait, what?
Michelle Phan has been on YouTube since it first began in 2006. By 2010, she was the most subscribed to makeup guru on YouTube, with her makeup tutorials gaining tens of millions of views. She was one of the first of her kind and pioneered the genre of makeup videos on YouTube. And as she continued to grow with the rise of YouTube and the age of the influencer, she started multiple beauty businesses and partnerships, including her own makeup company. In 2015, her company Ipsy was worth over $500 million, and she was named in the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. After nearly 10 years of fame, she was still at the top of her game and had created her own beauty empire, all from making videos in her bedroom as a hobby in the 2000s. But then, without warning, Michelle Phan left. Nobody knew where she had gone, and nobody would know until years later. In 2016, Michelle Phan packed her life into a suitcase and left the country. She told no one where she was going, not even her business partners or her board members. Her social media accounts went completely silent, and nobody knew where she was. She would later reveal that she had felt burnt out after 10 years on YouTube and had decided to just leave it all, taking a trip to a small remote town in Switzerland where she says she reconnected with nature. After an almost 4-year hiatus, she slowly began to return to social media, but people started to notice that something was slightly off about her online presence. She started posting about strange spiritual experiences that she was having whilst on a retreat, and people started to speculate that Michelle Phan might have become part of a cult.
What is she saying? That's a big jump.
If you're new to this channel, my name is Uncle Herman and I'm still an alpha male. I make videos about internet culture and personalities, and if you want to go the extra mile to support the channel, I have a Ko-fi page where you can donate a small amount if you want to. Also, for some reason, YouTube hasn't promoted my last 2 videos to all my subscribers, so do check them out, linked below if you missed them. So, Michelle Phan stopped posting on social media in 2016 after 10 years online. A few months before she left, Michelle had just relaunched her cosmetics line, EM Cosmetics, and was facing backlash from her fans. Michelle Phan was one of the very first YouTubers to break into the business world and create her own makeup line, and she had a rocky start. Her brand of cosmetics started as a collaboration with L'Oreal in 2013, but the launch did not go to plan. I was actually a big fan of Michelle back then, and I remember being genuinely excited for her to launch into the beauty world, and it wasn't something that I'd seen a YouTuber do before on this scale. I remember being disappointed though that I wasn't able to afford any of the products once it launched, especially since it was L'Oreal, which is a high street brand that's usually fairly affordable. But Michelle's products at EM were high-end prices, with her main palette being sold at $75, and her fans were not happy because they weren't able to afford it. The launch did not go well, with most of her fans being priced out of being able to buy the products, and anyone who did buy the products said that they were of poor quality. A few years later, in 2015, Michelle bought out L'Oreal's share in the company so that she could relaunch it as her own brand detached from L'Oreal, but right after she bought out the company, she left it all behind. Michelle posted a video in June 2017, over a year after she'd left social media, explaining where she'd been, and in the video she talked about how her mental health had taken a hit after taking on so many projects and that she needed a break to reconnect and find herself. The video ended on a positive note, but she still wasn't ready to return to social media full time and took another break of 2 years before she started to return to YouTube in September of 2019. Since then, she's been posting sporadically again on her channel, posting relaxing makeup tutorials aligning with the content that she used to make and that made her famous online. These makeup tutorials have been well received, with many of her fans feeling nostalgic for a simpler time on YouTube. However, fans have started to notice that when Michelle Phan is not doing makeup tutorials, she has started to promote some pretty strange ideas. For example, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, she posted on her Instagram story suggesting that the virus could be cured with essential oils. She said, "Our first point of contact for viruses is our nose. If you are burning antiviral essential oils around you, this will kill off the virus before it enters your system." She understandably got backlash for promoting this pseudoscientific approach to the virus that was killing millions. As, newsflash, essential oils cannot kill a virus. Michelle was called out by Dr. Pimple Popper of all people, who wrote, "Sorry, but antiviral essential oils don't exist." Michelle responded saying that she'd been told the information by a nurse and didn't intend to mislead her audience. Now, I want to acknowledge that alternative medicine and essential oils are more common practice in Eastern medicine, and if she wants to do that on her own time, that's totally cool, but promoting it as if it's a scientific fact is where it can spiral out of control. And this was not the first, and certainly not the last time, that Michelle Phan would promote unorthodox pseudoscientific ideas on social media. In May 2022, Michelle Phan started posting Instagram stories from a meditation retreat in San Diego that concerned a few of her fans. She posted stories saying that she had experienced miracles, had felt what true love is, and had seen angels. She said, "I experienced complete bliss and joy that I've never experienced in my life. I healed a man who was in a wheelchair for years. Okay. He's not only walking now, but dancing with joy. I'm still processing all of this."
Listen, I was with her at first. I'm trying to understand where she's coming from, but she keep losing me with her bullshit. All right, like, okay, yes, you can experience deep peace. I've experienced it several times, with meditation and going deep within and getting out of my head. So I was understanding it and relating to it at first, but then you talking about you healed a nigga from a wheelchair. Girl, go to hell.
I'm feeling so much love because I am love. Love is me. I am the universe experiencing itself and I feel infinite. She said that while she's on this meditation retreat, she's clocking in 4 hours of sleep every day, waking up at 3 a.m. to meditate for 5 hours.
Oh, wait, let's see. I really want to understand. Is this true? Okay, I don't think I want to go to this one. 4 hours of sleep. Waking up at 3 a.m. to meditate 5 hours straight. No breaks, not even for bathroom. Alright, you really lost me. I don't want to go to this one. Then we eat, then learn science for 2 hours, then meditate again, then break, and then meditate again. I do hear that is what you do. You do meditate for like crazy long hours, but not being able to go pee is wild. What the fuck is you doing? Or you just staying dehydrated so you don't have to pee? This is getting weird.
Breaks, not even for the bathroom. She says, then we eat, learn science for 2 hours and meditate again, then break and then meditate again. Now, as someone who has a bit of experience with meditation retreats, hours of meditation and a lack of sleep, though concerning, are pretty commonplace for these sort of intense retreats. However, what does concern me is when she says that every day they learn 2 hours of science. Now, that's not normal, and the more we look into who is running this retreat, the more cultish it becomes. But before we dive into the history of the supposed cult that Michelle Phan might have joined, I want to quickly touch on her history of spirituality and what signs might have led her to this point. So Michelle Phan has a history of promoting spirituality, so much so that there was a post of hers that became an infamous inside joke amongst her fans. The post was made on her blog in 2006 and detailed an experience where she said that she was being followed late at night in New York City and was understandably nervous. She said that she asked for a sign from God and then saw 2 other men eating chicken and rice. She says, "I knew it was a sign from God that they're good guys because chicken and rice is my favourite thing to eat when I'm in the city." She then says that sitting with these 2 men eating chicken and rice saved her from the man that was following her and that they were angels sent by God to save her. She's also very into astrology and seems to be making a lot of decisions based on star signs. She spoke about her hiring process for her company EM Cosmetics in an interview with The Cut in 2019. She said, "I wanted a very nice, diverse astrological place. If I had a team of water signs, it's going to be too emotional, too volatile. Or if I have too many earth signs, it will be too grounded. If I have too many fire signs, it will be too volatile. Everyone will be competing." So needless to say, Michelle has a relationship with religion and spirituality and believes in astrology and signs from God, which is not a problem, but it does mean that she might be a bit more open to ideas that would seem illogical to someone who doesn't believe in things like miracles or healing people with your mind or using essential oils to cure a virus. Now, I don't want to call Michelle dumb or illogical. I totally support believing in astrology and religion, but she does seem a little bit more vulnerable and susceptible to falling victim to cult-like ideologies because of her predisposed belief in higher powers and her history of seeking spiritual signs. So now I want to look at who is behind this meditation retreat that Michelle has subscribed to. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he runs meditation retreats around America, charging upwards of $2,000 for a week-long retreat that promises that you will become unlimited. Testimonies from this retreat on Dispenza's website claim that this meditation can cure infertility, can regenerate your jawbone, or even cure terminal cancer. Michelle posted on Instagram saying, "I've always resonated."
When people have wild claims like that, I'm no longer interested because you guaranteeing me some wild shit.
with Dr. Joe Dispenza's story on how he transformed himself using brain and heart coherence. She says he was in an accident that broke his spine, was told he'd never walk again, but he did not accept that as his truth. He reprogrammed his mind and now walks and shares his experience on how he did it. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a chiropractor turned spiritual leader who preaches mindfulness, manifestation, and some weird quantum physics that definitely has no base in science, but he claims that it does. Joe claims that in 1986 he was in a cycling accident that left him with a serious spinal injury. Doctors told him that he would never walk again and he needed spinal surgery, but instead of having the surgery, he checked himself out of the hospital and decided to heal his spine with his mind. He says that within 10 weeks he was walking again thanks to the power of his mind, and since he was able to heal his body without medical intervention, he claims that he can teach other people to do the same, and that he can perform biblical-style miracles like curing Parkinson's disease or unparalyzing someone.
I have witnessed so many profound healings where people are healing other people because they know how to administer coherence and change the field of the person laying before them. They understand the science, the quantum physics. They understand all what they're doing.
Wait, my question also is, if you on this meditation retreat, why the fuck you got access to your phone? That is a red flag, because that is not common at all. You're supposed to be completely disconnected. And her Instagram post said, oh, I experienced so much peace today. The fuck you mean today? If it's a week-long retreat, why are you going to your phone at the end of the day? That don't sound right.
They're doing it. And all of a sudden, they're healing all these people in our events. Tumors disappearing, people stepping out of wheelchairs, crazy, blind people seeing, deaf people hearing, crazy stuff. This is biblical proportion stuff. And now they're doing it non-locally because they can't be together, but they understand in the quantum there's no separation. They can do it without being there. And they're not doing it. I've dropped in on these calls. They're not doing it because they want to hang a shingle on their door saying I'm a healer. In fact, they got to get beyond that in order to heal. They got to get beyond that identity. They're doing it because they're healing themselves every time they connect to love.
So, is Joe Dispenza the second coming of Christ, or is it all a pseudoscience? I think you can probably guess the answer to that one. His teachings are founded on this idea of the quantum field. He says the more connected you are to the quantum field, the less separation you have from the dreams that you are creating. But what the quantum field actually is unclear. He's basically a glorified motivational speaker who throws in buzzwords like frequency and quantum.
No, I do kind of believe in quantum physics, though, to a certain degree. I want to get deeper into it, but I do feel like there is some truth here. This might not be complete bullshit, but I am skeptical.
Field to make it sound like he knows science, but in reality he's a chiropractor with no verifiable background in physics. But despite all of this, Joe Dispenza has a huge following of people who hang on to his every word, including Phan. Whether or not Joe Dispenza is running a cult, he certainly has a pull that people are falling for that borders on the coercive control tactics that a lot of cults use to gain followers and keep them inside. For example, he is a charismatic leader who claims to have a higher knowledge and power that you can only gain from paying him lots of money and going on his retreats where he will impart his secret knowledge onto you. He claims that he has otherworldly powers that can cure people from terminal illnesses. Now, people with terminal illnesses or injuries are often desperate and looking for people who claim that they will be able to cure them. So what's a better promise than simply being able to use the power of your mind to heal yourself? What he is promoting is the impossible, but millions of people have been roped into his scheme, and I do believe that they are being exploited in order to make Dr. Joe rich. He seems to feed off of people's desperation and uses that to try and peddle some pseudo-scientific approach to health and well-being that can ultimately be damaging to those who follow them. Michelle posted a life update video addressing the claims that she is in a cult, and she assured her fans that she does not have a cult personality and that because she's an Aries, she's not predisposed to cult-like thought.
The fact that a lot of you thought of me, yeah, it made me, just made me want to cry. Like, I felt really touched by that because I've been going through a lot. I just don't talk about it, so it was nice to see that. I felt really appreciated. Thank you.
Did you heal a nigga or
I'm not in
not?
a cult. I even asked myself,
I find this video interesting, especially when she implies that if this was a cult, it wouldn't be so bad anyway because it's a cult of love. A lot of cults and people inside cults believe that they are in a cult of love and that people within them truly do feel like they're in the right place and that what they are part of is amazing and loving. There are so many times in this video where Michelle is talking about her experience that suggests that she is fully invested in this pseudoscience. She claims to be self-aware about her status in this belief, but I think that what she can't see that perhaps her followers can see is how vulnerable she is to that kind of coercion. She's already a very spiritual person and she's desperately seeking guidance, and Joe Dispenza seems to have filled that void. And fans are starting to notice a pattern with Michelle getting roped into ideas and promoting them to her fans as some new enlightened truth that she's just discovered. Before meditation, it was Bitcoin. Michelle confused her fans in 2021 when she started promoting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and retweeting far-right crypto bros on Twitter. She'd suddenly turned her whole brand into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, tweeting things like,
if you bought Bitcoin in 2021, well, depending on when you bought it, you're up right now, okay? So let's not talk about crypto. People see, this is the thing, and I'm just like, the further we get into this video, I'm just like, I am believing that she probably isn't in a cult. I feel like people tend to shun things that they don't understand, and they speak out against things that, you know, they are ignorant to. So that's what it's given. And the fact that they brought up crypto, I'm like, all right, you lost me. You lost me, because I've made a lot of money in crypto, okay? So let's not do that. She trying to put her followers on. There's nothing wrong with, you know, wanting to share certain parts of your life with your audience, especially if you feel like it's having such a profound, you know, effect on your life. And you're like, wow, this is great. I want to share this with other people. Like, what's so bad about that?
one day power will be decentralized. People will have self-sovereignty. Work will be derived from passion and purpose. Money will be energy, and we will be free.
All right, she throws people off when she when she says shit like this, and when she's talking about she healing niggas out of wheelchairs. It's like, I feel like that's also, you know, confusing people and making them side eye, you know, what you're saying. But there is some gems here. But she's just kind of...
She's posted on Twitter for a couple of years now, but the page remains up with her bio just reading #Bitcoin and her pinned tweet encouraging her followers to purchase Bitcoin. Now, there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin.
Wait.
And her pinned tweet encouraging her followers...
Wait, look when she promoted it. She promoted Bitcoin at $5,600. Bitcoin is now at $70,000 per coin. So we want to talk about that she, you know, that she don't know what she's talking about. But I heard before I paused the video that he said there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure he looked it up like, oh, wait. This has gone up substantially since she's talked about it. Substantially. She put y'all the fuck on, okay? I wish I knew about Bitcoin when it was $5,000. I didn't get into crypto until 2021. Right before the bull run, like, really, you know, intensified. And that was kind of the wrong time to get in, because the bull run went crazy in 2021, and then we went to a bear market for years, and it's just now, like, picking back up. Anyway, the point is, she put niggas on. So y'all was like, you promoting a scam. And look at it now. It's at 70,000. Well, I think it's like 66,000. I mean, it fluctuates every day, but it's around 60-something thousand per coin.
Bitcoin. Now, there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin, and there are plenty of people whose entire brand is encouraging people to buy cryptocurrency, and it may well be the future. However, it seems like a huge pivot for Michelle, who previously had been all about dropping her materialistic lifestyle. Fans of Michelle started to air their concerns in her replies, wondering why she was suddenly pivoting from a calming makeup guru
Look at the niggas who don't know nothing about investing or crypto or anything
to a Bitcoin influencer.
Talk shit.
She made a video encouraging her followers to invest in Bitcoin, perhaps because the more demand there is for Bitcoin, the higher the value goes up. In fairness to her, she does explain Bitcoin well in this video. It just seems like a huge pivot from what her fans are used to.
Who wants to talk about makeup all day, every day? That shit is boring. She did it for 10 years. What y'all want from her? She trying to, like, broaden her horizons and talk about other shit.
Especially as she's historically aimed her content towards teens, and her Bitcoin influencer era was very short. It seems like she frequently falls victim to people saying that they can make you rich or make you enlightened, and very quickly is sucked into these new worlds of heavy influence. Michelle Phan has been online as an influencer now for over 15 years, and her presence has changed over time. It does seem that she is currently submerged deep within the teachings of Joe Dispenza. She seems like she's been through some tough mental health battles, and so if this is helping her, then I truly do wish her all the best. But at the same time, I believe that she is a victim to this way of thought, and that her ideas are not her own. For example, if we watch this video that she appeared in alongside Bretman Rock 7 months ago, they talk about authenticity, and whilst Bretman talks about it in relation to himself, Michelle starts to preach about everyone becoming one and transcending into some sort of collective consciousness.
Journey. I told you, I took plant medicine, I took ayahuasca and all of that. My state of consciousness shifted where I realized, wait, like, we're actually all one. We are the universe experiencing each other. And we need to remind each other that we're beautiful. So where I see beauty shifting more towards is really consciousness, where, you know what I'm saying? Because now we're more aware. Now we have the younger generation who grew up online, and they're just more aware about the world, and we're becoming more aware about ourselves. So where we're going next is we need to all be one together, unified together.
The way she talks with these buzzwords about everybody being one is something that a lot of spiritual leaders preach, and it does seem like she's fallen victim to absorbing this so-called quantum physics that Joe Dispenza hails as the truth. I truly do wish Michelle Phan all the best. She clearly had a lot of hardships throughout her career and a lot of false starts, and I think that Joe Dispenza is taking advantage of people like Michelle who are in vulnerable places and have a lot of money to give to him to help fix them. Like any new age spiritual leader, he doesn't like to give out his information for free, and this exclusiveness certainly gives it an air of a cult-like group. I hope that Michelle Phan can find her own peace and sense of self outside of all these groups and leaders, and to anyone who has gone to Joe Dispenza to fix their various serious ailments, please see an actual doctor.
I mean, they can only do so fucking much, let's be clear. Here's the thing, people use a lot of the same buzzwords because that's how they feel. Like, this is coming from someone who has like deeply meditated, and I felt that way too. It's how you feel when you experience that deep level of peace and quiet, and it's like you do feel connected to everything. So that's why they're saying it, because that's how you feel. So I don't know if she's just, you know, regurgitating these words that she heard from other people. I think she's sharing that same experience, so she's just trying to articulate that, and that's the best way to explain it. I've talked about this before. I like talk about meditation here and there. I don't like heavily preach it, but I've even talked about reading this book called The Power of Now, and I feel like that book very simply describes the feeling that you experience when you deeply meditate and you become more connected with your inner self. And how she explained it, that's very accurate in how you actually feel. So to say that she's in a cult, and I feel like people are just ignorant because they don't understand it. They don't get what, you know, she's experiencing. They don't get it. I don't know. Maybe she is. I'm not saying she's not. It doesn't sound like she is, though. It doesn't sound like she has, you know, given up her entire life and she's given over all her money to this Joe guy, and she's just living, you know, on a ranch with all these other people. Like, when I think of cult, that's what I think of. It seems like she has free will and she's, you know, going on about her life and her business. But she just went there on a retreat, had that experience, and paid for it. I mean, these retreats aren't free. Like, what the fuck? You do have to pay money. Like, hello, you nothing is free. So we can't use that as an indication that it's a cult or that it's not legitimate is because he's charging. Everybody charges for shit. Even if you want to read a book about enlightenment, there's a charge. Like, you have to pay for everything. So that doesn't mean anything to me. But yeah, the more the video went on, I'm just like, so she seems like she's just trying to find herself, and she's interested in different things, and she just wants to share it with her followers. I will say, though, my main criticism is that, you know, she is, you know, kind of muddying the message by including this wild shit. Saying you healed somebody in a wheelchair is just kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not impossible. There have been a lot of wild shit that's taken place. A lot of miracles have occurred in the world, but it's just, it doesn't sound right. Very, very skeptical about you saying that, you know? So I think she should just be careful with how she words certain things. But I wish her the best. This was interesting. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.